Get ready for a movie full of action, suspense, and sci-fi elements. Let's go. On a typical workday in the office, a woman whose job involves monitoring seismic data is abruptly interrupted by her boss, Alex. She informs him about an unusual reading captured by the seismograph, the third one that day, something that raises her eyebrows in concern. The woman suggests that the equipment might be malfunctioning. However, Alex reassures her by reminding her that the seismograph had undergone a complete checkup the previous week, almost entirely ruling out the possibility of technical failures. After this conversation, Alex bids farewell to the corporate environment and heads to the comfort of his home, where he meets his brother Jake. The two dive into a deep conversation about family matters, completely distracting them from everything else. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, the scene is taken over by an out-of-this-world event. Two alien spacecraft tear through the sky, silently approaching Earth. Meanwhile, the woman from the office, now away from her equipment, stops monitoring the seismograph anomalies, getting lost in other duties. Alex and Jake, engrossed in their discussion, are completely unaware of the phenomenon unfolding above their heads. However, back at the office, the woman notices an alert on the seismograph that had previously escaped her attention. Alarmed by the possible severity of the reading, she rushes outside, only to have her attention captured by the spacecraft now descending from the sky. It doesn't take long before a spectacular battle unfolds in the sky between the two ships. Quickly, she communicates the situation, prompting an urgent mobilization of special forces. Receiving the news, Alex decides to promptly respond to this unexpected invasion. One of the ships, hit, crashes loudly into a dense forest, revealing among the wreckage an enigmatic figure, whose face is hidden by a mask concealing clearly non-human features. Meanwhile, the other ship hovers menacingly, its weapon systems locking onto the target below. The confrontation quickly escalates. Military forces rapidly arrive at the crash site, where the alien faces the human response with alarming technological superiority. With a precise shot from his ray cannon, he is able to send a military vehicle flying. In the sky, a military helicopter positions itself for an attack, but is quickly shot down by an alien rocket. The alien then advances, indifferent to the resistance, toward the heart of a heavily guarded military base. There, prepared soldiers await, ready to defend their territory. Disregarding orders to retreat, the alien demonstrated impressive skill maneuvering through the base's defenses, with his impenetrable shield repelling shots as he advanced. In a high-tension encounter, the alien's superior weaponry turned the tide, nullifying the resistance with almost surgical precision and further infiltrating the facilities. When Alex arrived at the scene, he immediately took the lead, directing his team to contact Tate and urgently request the Mage 12. Meanwhile, inside the base, the alien entered a highly secure sector of the warehouse, finding a laser containment field. There, he cleverly seized a metal rod, a key piece of his enigmatic plan. The situation intensified with the arrival of another alien, known as Omega Centurion. The latter quickly disabled a soldier who tried to attack him, severing his hand with a swift move. The Centurion then engaged in a fierce battle for control of the metal rod held by Jude, the first alien. As the conflict escalated, Alex and reinforcements arrived, striving to control the chaos unfolding before them. At the peak of tension, Jude activated a compact metallic device capable of disintegrating objects within a defined radius. He launched the device with precision, aiming at the Centurion in an attempt to neutralize this formidable adversary. As the fight intensified, several soldiers were fatally hit by crossfire. Meanwhile, Jake, aware of the dangerous occurrences at the wildlife refuge where his brother Alex works, felt deeply disturbed. Immediately, he started making calls to check on Alex's safety. Overcome with fear about what might have happened, he decided to head to the military base, infiltrating silently in search of answers. However, his attempt to go unnoticed was quickly spotted by Charlie, a colleague of Alex and her team. Despite Jake's pleas to stay until he received information about his brother, Charlie ordered that he be detained. It was then revealed that Jake was a former military operative with experience in covert operations at the same base. He was escorted inside with his hands cuffed. Charlie, noticing Jake's anguish over his brother, chose to free him from the handcuffs, showing understanding of the situation. Charlie continued the conversation, providing Jake with detailed information about a critical incident that Alex had not yet mentioned. Understanding Jake's past as a former military operative involved in confidential missions, Charlie demonstrated a vote of confidence by handing him a military uniform. Now appropriately dressed, Jake advanced cautiously, absorbing the details of the incident reports. However, his discreet approach was suddenly interrupted when Tate caught him spying. Tate, perceiving Jake's attempt to pass himself off as an officer and interpreting it as an intrusion, ordered that he be sedated and detained immediately. Confronted by approaching officers, Jake displayed his tactical skill, incapacitating them with precise moves and taking control of a nearby vehicle. Though pursued, he skillfully maneuvered to avoid capture. During his escape, Jake encountered the first alien, who used a ray cannon to disable the car's brakes, forcing Jake to slow down drastically. Jake tried to exit the vehicle and confront the armed alien, but was quickly disarmed. To his surprise, the alien removed his mask, revealing his true face, and asked for Jake's help in finding the Omega Seed, an imposing obelisk that threatened the planet's existence unless neutralized with the metal rod. Jude explained the catastrophic consequences of leaving the Omega Seed active, emphasizing the urgency of his mission. After assessing the gravity of the situation and the sincerity in Jude's words, a hesitant Jake agreed to help. Together, they headed to where Monica was, who promptly provided medical care to the wounded alien, aiding in his recovery. Jude clarified that the Omega Seed operated as a planetary sentinel, monitoring a world's evolution until it reached a suitable stage of maturity for exploration. Should a specific signal be emitted by the planet, the Omega Seed would activate, triggering a catastrophic explosion that released a lethal pathogen into the atmosphere, eliminating all organic life within 36 hours. To prevent this mass destruction, the Ether Rod, a security tool developed by the Omega race, was indispensable. Meanwhile, a group of special military forces quickly surrounded Monica's residence, efficiently capturing and confining the alien. Simultaneously, in a climate of growing tension, Jake and Monica confronted Tate, questioning the ethics and logic behind imprisoning the extraterrestrial beings. During the confrontation, a visibly distressed Jake demanded answers from Tate about his brother Alex's whereabouts, only to be shaken by the devastating news that Alex had been killed by the alien during the recent chaos. A spherical object materialized unexpectedly, provoking an immediate reaction from the military, who assumed defensive positions and opened fire. In a stunning turn of events, the object transformed into the imposing figure of the Omega Centurion, elevating the conflict to a critical level. The confrontation between the military and the Centurion intensified, with Jude facing the powerful alien adversary. After a tense and prolonged battle, Jude managed to inflict a critical injury on the Centurion, providing a moment of advantage. Seizing this opportunity, Jake, Jude, and Monica quickly retreated from the tumultuous scene, seeking refuge in a nearby junkyard. At the junkyard, the trio, armed with firearms and a missile, prepared to defend themselves against the relentless Omega Centurion. However, the plot takes an unexpected turn when Jude's true loyalty is put to the test. In a surprising move, he captures Monica and disappears, leaving Jake to face the threat of the Centurion alone amid the chaos and uncertainty. During the climax of the battle, the Centurion abruptly halts the confrontation and reveals a shocking secret to Jake. He has been chosen as the planet's designated protector, responsible for preventing its imminent destruction. The Centurion also claims that by betraying them, Jude has activated the Omega Seed, a measure that could lead to the catastrophic end of the world. Meanwhile, Jude, with Monica in tow, dangerously approaches the Omega Seed, skillfully evading a special forces blockade set up to capture him. In the meantime, Jake arrives at the blockade, where Tate tries to stop him. Undeterred, Jake advances with iron determination, breaking through the barrier. Desperate, Jude pleads with Monica to use the Ether Rod, emphasizing that only she possesses the crucial knowledge necessary to deactivate the Omega Seed before it's too late. When all seems lost, Jude reappears, rescuing Jake from the brink of death, just as he is about to be consumed by the relentless claws of the Omega Centurion. Taking refuge in the impenetrable density of the forest, Jake and Monica reunite unexpectedly. With shared determination, they advance towards their final destination, traversing the abandoned corridors of a forgotten warehouse. They then descend a sinister staircase to an underground chamber where the crucial mission to deactivate the Omega Seed reaches its peak tension. A sudden flash briefly interrupts their progress, heralding the imminent emergence of the Omega Centurion, who is now on Monica's trail. In a decisive moment, Jude arrives just in time to snatch the ether rod from the Centurion's grasp, triggering a fierce and desperate battle that resonates with the magnitude of their mission to save humanity. Despite being gravely injured during the brutal confrontation, Jude bravely faces the Centurion's attacks, buying precious time for Jake and Monica to focus on the vital task ahead. Gathering his last reserves of energy, Jude repels the alien enemy, allowing Jake and Monica to successfully deactivate the switch that could trigger the catastrophic activation of the Omega Seed. Jude quickly activates a specialized grenade. Anticipating the imminent explosion, Jake and Monica manage to escape the site hurriedly, narrowly avoiding the devastating consequences that would follow. And so, the film concludes.